Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Tuesday episode of the Degenerate Disseminators podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, and finally, guys, Daniel is back.
Hey guys.
If you guys missed yesterday's episode, highly recommend you check it out. There was no basketball, so we decided to break down the entire first round of the NBA playoffs and the play-in. Also gave some futures bets in there. Um, but today marks the start of the play-in tournament. We're going to talk about both games from that. Daniel does have an NHL pick as well. And please stick around to the end because I'm going to add another futures bet for the NBA playoffs, which should be pretty fun. Before we hop into things, though, once again, check us out on our social media pages, Instagram and TikTok at DD Sports Podcast. Links to those will be in the descriptions of YouTube and Spotify. And if you guys haven't checked out Pikkit already, please do so. Bunch of great tools on there, copy and paste bets, bet tracking, which is the most important thing, a whole other assortment of things on there. And Daniel did use our affiliate link, and they did give him some free coinage. So
$3, baby.
yes,
$3.
and you guys do get a 1 in 100 chance at $100 cash sent right to you. So if you haven't checked that out already, please do so. And yeah, without further ado, Daniel, welcome back. But the floor is yours, my man.
All right, fellas. Coming in hot, my pick of the day. We are taking the Minnesota Wild team total goals, over 3.5. We are taking that for minus 130. So, kind of a rare bet, I guess, from us. I don't think I've ever taken a team total before. But the reason I'm taking this is because the Wild have covered this 8 out of their last 10 games against the Ducks. And I think, I mean, the Wild still, they haven't clinched a spot in the playoffs yet. This game is pretty crucial to them, especially against a team like the Ducks, who, let's be honest, really suck this season and last season. Minnesota definitely needs to win this game, and I think they're going to do all that they can in order to do so. And in my opinion, you know, if the last 10 games say anything, they're going to score at least 4 goals on this team. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. There's not much else that needs to be said. Personally, I do think the Wild are going to win this game, so it would be a good idea to throw in a money line bet as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as stats goes, Wild beat them in everything. Goaltending, Wild have better goaltenders, and yeah, that's about it. For side bets, we're gonna take Joel Eriksson Ek for over half a goal, and we'll take Matt Boldy for over half an assist. Uh, Joel has 4 in his last 5, and Boldy has 6 in his last 5. But yeah, kind of short, but that's it for me. Gonna swing the rock over to Mr. Jordan
All
for
right,
some more.
guys. Thank you, Daniel. Just a fair warning, guys. If you are betting on NHL tomorrow, I would only bet on teams that are in the hunt. Um, don't.
Yeah, all these like big teams that are
Yeah.
like really good, that already have a spot are just not giving a shit. I mean,
Who
there's
know?
no reason for them to
They could win.
actually
Who
play.
knows? Like the Calgary Vegas game is a pick 'em right now. We're still waiting
Hmm.
on some updates for those lineups, but I would definitely stick with teams who are definitely chasing a win. And Minnesota is one of those teams, and they actually have one of the easier games, so that's
Yeah,
why we're taking it.
Minnesota, the Blues, the Flames, and fan favorite, the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, it is looking a little grim for them though, unfortunately. But who knows?
I think they can do it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I was not impressed at
I
all
don't
with the
mind seeing the Canadians in the playoffs
yeah.
either. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. But guys, once we did our NBA playoff preview. If Daniel and I can find the time to do it, we will do the same thing for NHL. We are just waiting obviously for spots to be solidified. As it is a tight race for those second wild card spots per usual. But anyways, we're gonna kick things into the NBA. We have two play-in games tomorrow. One from the East and one from the West. First game we're looking at is the first game of the night. We're looking at the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Magic in Orlando. Um, I think my big X factor for this game is that the Hawks are going to be without Clint Capella. So they're already a relatively small team. And I mean, Clint Capella has been out for over a month, and they've done okay. But I just with heavy minutes, Orlando's going to have a lot of size. And I think they are going to kill Atlanta on the glass. They have Wendell Carter Jr. and Goga in the center spot. not huge names, but they are definitely very good at their position. So I think they're going to kill them on the glass. They're going to score a lot in the paint, and they are going to create a lot of second chance points opportunities in this game. Um, in the regular season, however, this series was tied 2-2. But we have to remember the last game. They sat everyone, because those planned seeds were pretty much locked in. So I don't think it's really like a true representation of how that game would have gone. But, I think heading into this game, with their current strengths, playing at capacity with what they have, I do think Orlando is just better in everything than Atlanta going into this matchup. And Orlando, I think as long as they shut down Trae Young and don't let Dyson Daniels get 10 steals on them, I think this should be a pretty easy win for them. Orlando's laying only 5 points. I think it's a little too low, so I'm jumping all over that. So to kick things off in the NBA playoff action, we are taking the Orlando Magic at -5 for 1.15 units. And then for the Western Conference game, we got the Grizzlies going to the Bay to take on the Warriors. The game total here is at 229. When we look at the series between them this season, Golden State won 3-1 in this season series. And all four of these games did clear 229 by a pretty significant margin. The game totals were 241, 237, 234, and 259. They went way over. And on that last matchup of 259 points, Steph Curry went absolutely insane. He had 52 points on 12 three-pointers. I feel like Steph does have a lot of these crazy games against Memphis. And if we see one tomorrow, it's a lot of back and forth playing catch up for both teams, which I think this game could be. I do think this number of 229 is not high enough. I do like the Warriors here, as we did mention in the playoff preview. They're laying 7 points. It's a little steep. If it was like 3.5, 4, I'd definitely be all over that. But yeah, 7's just a little too high for me. So for this game, we are going over 229 game total for 1.15, or no, sorry, 1.1 units. My apologies. Let me just double check that actually before I move on. Yes, so that one's for 1.1 units, and then the Magic game is for 1.15 units. So that's going to wrap things up for today, but we are going to add another futures bet out there. We are looking at a series bet, so this is kind of like a shorter term futures bet. It's only the first round. In the playoff preview, I did say that I think the Knicks are going to beat the Pistons in 6 games. In this series, the series handicap for the Pistons is 2.5 games plus 2.5. I think this Pistons team is very hungry. Very young squad. They are coming off a historically bad season last year, and coming in as a 6 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, which is incredible on its own. But I do think they have a lot to prove. I really don't see them going out and getting swept. And realistically, if we're taking Pistons at plus 2.5 for the series, the only thing we just need this game to go to a game 6, which is what I predicted would happen. Ideally, I think if the Pistons can go to MSG to start off the series and just split it 1-1, I think we're pretty solid. But for Pistons, 2.5 for the series handicap is -145. Usually we play around like 110, 120, 130. So -145 might seem a little high for us, but I really don't think that line represents the actual odds. I feel like that is way too low. I feel like Pistons plus 2.5 should be like -200. So even though it is a little higher than something we normally take, I do think it is very good value. So I'm gonna do it. So for a little mini futures bet, we're taking the Pistons series handicap of plus 2.5 for 1.45 units. And like I said, we just need to see a game 6 between those two teams, and we cash that, and I think that'll be relatively easy. That is pretty much all I got as far as additional futures bets. I am eyeing the Clippers Nuggets series, and we also are. I believe only 4 of the series are available for betting right now. So we're gonna keep a close eye on that and definitely add some stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me today. Daniel, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap things up?
Nah.
Alrighty, so we are going to kick it into the recap for Tuesday. Magic -5 for 1.15 units. Warriors Grizzlies over 229 game total points for 1.1 units. And Minnesota Wild team total over 3.5 for 1.3 units. That gives us 3.55 units in play on the day. And then for the series/futures bet of the Pistons series handicap plus 2.5 for 1.45 units. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's episode, highly recommend you do. But we're not counting the units yet. Like, it's not going into today's total. We're gonna wait and see how they play out, and then add it, as we get the results. But that is gonna do it for us today, guys. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Shout out to Maggie.